years.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 7 in the 2019 NOFSRL Throwback Series. We're here at the Talladega Super Speedway for the Alabama 300. Only 2 races remain in the Throwback Series for 2019. And after the race we saw last week where John Hart won his 20th career Napa Fan race, you know that anything is possible in this championship because John Hart moved himself up to second in the points and Jonathan Rains took the points lead. And the points are very tight with only 2 races remaining, and one of those 2 races is Talladega, where anything can happen. It doesn't really matter where you start for this race, unlike how Bristol was last week, so I'm going to see these guys working their way through the field quite a bit here today in this 23-lap event at the Talladega Super Speedway. Got ourselves Gatlin Downey starting on the pole position. You see Jesse Turner there starting in 5th. But like I mentioned, it doesn't really matter where you start, just matters where you finish. And all of these championship contenders are going to have a good chance at winning here today at Talladega. This is how they line up in the championship standings coming into this race. Jonathan Rains, winner at Watkins Glen, also finished 2nd, I do believe. No, 5th, I think it was either 4th or 5th last week at Bristol. Nonetheless, he did enough to get past Jesse Turner in the points, 159 points towards the championship for him. John Hart, who won last week at Bristol, like I mentioned, his 20th career Napa Fan win, led flag to flag after starting 3rd, 10 points behind. Jesse Turner is 11 points behind the Michigan winner. Julius Anderson, the highest guy in the championship without a win. He is 18 points behind, and they got Derek Campbell and Nathan Stapleton tied for 5th in the point standings, 19 points behind, coming into the Alabama 300 from Talladega. And it's Gatlin Downey on the pole with Casey Russell alongside him. It's the second of now 4 races in this Talladega weekend. We're only going to be doing 1 race for the Rockstar Pro Series here instead of 2 as originally planned. Simply because there just isn't much of a need to do 2 races, and I just don't have the time. Going on vacation, I actually was on vacation last weekend to go to the Pocono IndyCar race, but I'm doing all these ahead, so by the time I get to this point, when school begins, I don't have near as much to do. I'm hoping to get everything done up to the finale in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, at least recorded, before I get back to school on Monday, so hopefully I can do that, which is why here on August 12th, 2 Mondays before I start school, I'm doing this race. Hope you guys enjoy it. Gatlin Downey, Casey Russell on the front row, Matt Tuck, Alexander, Andrew Ross. Started with an A, and I automatically said my real first name. Jesse Turner alongside Sebastian Kukalon there in row number 3. Shane Lake and Nicholas Samadeo in row 4. Zach Winkle, Nick Smith, row 5. Like I mentioned, though, it doesn't really matter where you start in this race because all these guys are going to have a chance to run up front at some point throughout the day, only unless they get involved in an accident. And that is the one thing you don't really want about starting deep in the field here at Talladega, because you can work your way from the back to the front very easily, but if you're back there, you're more likely to get involved in an accident than you would be if you're running up front. There's Jonathan Rains, their points leader, midway through the field right there in the number 26. John Hart, last week's winner, 20-time Napa Fan winner, on the outside lane deep in the field. So we'll have to see what he can do. And of course, you see Jesse Turner there on the inside. Those are the main guys in this championship. Of course, Julius Anderson also part of this championship battle. Same with Derek Campbell, Nathan Stapleton. A lot of guys actually behind that as well, who could find their way even to the points lead possibly if things go a certain way here today at Talladega. But 36 trucks ready to take the green flag here for 23 laps at Talladega. This, the Alabama 300, and it's going to be a fun one with Gatlin Downey leading the field with the green flag. Let's see who gets it done here at the world's baddest super speedway. Downey and Casey Russell on the front row. We're green flag racing at Dega. Andrew Ross with the first lap lead of the day, a bonus point towards the championship for him. I know that Turner would love to get that extra bonus point towards the championship as he is up there in the championship hunt here for the Throwback Series with only 2 races remaining. He's going to have a decent shot at getting past Jonathan Rames in this race if everything works to plan. He's got Shane Lake helping him there, and Lake is going to stay behind Turner. Good job there, Shane Lake not forcing a 3 wide for the race lead. And there goes Jesse Turner to the race lead in the number 99. As you can tell, these guys go a little bit slower than the Cup cars do, mainly because of the high downforce on these trucks, and I'm not going to be going too ultra fast here, but that means that if they get forced to a 4-wide situation, it's going to be harder for them to get out of it. There's Sam Medeo getting shuffled out of line, and there's Christopher Alphaby going into the inside wall, and Nick Smith upside down in the 18. Flipping down the banking goes Nick Smith, and he is totaled. Christopher Alphaby, Johnny Gardner, and Sam Medeo was in the middle of all that. He got the least amount of damage of all those guys. Carter Freeze in there as well. And the race back to the line. Zach Winkle out front in the number 15 with Derek Campbell behind him and Larry Hagan. They're coming across to the start-finish line. It looks like Zach Winkle is going to win the race back and lead the field to the first restart of the day here at Talladega. That was a wild wreck for Nick Smith. And Nick Smith is undoubtedly going to be out of the race as Christopher Alphaby got into the inside of him and shot up the racetrack right into him and Nicholas Sam Medeo. And Carter Friesen was involved as well. Friesen comes into this race last in the championship standings. Johnny Gardner there as well in the number 2. Also caught up in this accident. Gardner is up there in the points with a shot at the championship, but he might be out of championship contention heading into the finale at Darlington next week if he does not get that thing fired back up. Either way, let's go ahead and see what happened to bring up the first caution of the day here in the Alabama 300 at Talladega. Well, we saw this 4-wide situation right when we were talking about 4-wide here at Talladega. And Nick Smith definitely getting the worst of this. Christopher Alphaby right in between him and Julius Anderson on the inside of Alphaby. And these guys weren't even 4 wide when they wrecked. Sam Medeo had actually filed behind all of this. But Johnny Gardner, Carter Friesen also got caught up, and they shot up the racetrack as well. And Nick Smith getting flipped around. Alphaby got a lot of air as well in the number 23, and Nick Smith actually climbed over Christopher Alphaby. And you see Sam Medeo there had nowhere to go, and Carter Freeze and Johnny Gardner involved as well. But this is where things really get wild. Nick Smith tumbling down the banking in turn 1. Barrel rolling. I haven't seen a barrel roll in quite some time here on Epifan, but we saw one right there with the number 18. Getting shot up into the outside wall and shot up into the air. And no doubt Nick Smith's day is going to be done right there here in the Craftsman Throwback Series at Talladega. Replay this in real time. Sam Medeo got shuffled out of line. It forced those guys 4 wide, and Alphaby tried to move up, and Nick Smith was not having it. Unfortunately, Nick Smith got the worst of it. See Johnny Gardner also going around in the number 2, Carter Friesen. But nobody got it worse than Nick Smith in the number 18. And I believe that on the cooldown lap, we had an accident as well. At the end of all that, I saw Igor Barreto and Fisher G in the pit lane. So we're going to follow with Igor Barreto here as they were racing back to the line. It's usually off of turn number 1 where these guys have issues getting back in order. There's Zach Winkle won the race back to the line in the number 15, and you see Igor Barreto here in the number 72. With Ian Adams there, Gatlin down here, pole sitter all around him. And right there, it was Fitzwater. Oh, and Turner was involved! Oh my goodness! And that's going to knock Turner out, and his shots at the championship might be over because of that. Unbelievable. Turner got shut up there as Fitzwater. They all crowded into the corner. Then you saw Igor Barreto and Fisher G also get involved in that one. Kukulon as well. That wreck was bigger than the one that brought out the caution. Let's go ahead and see that again. You see right here, it's Zachary Fitzwater. He tries to move up and Kukulon's there. I do not understand that at all. And lots of times we end up with like 4 wide situations. But that was not the case there. Kukulon, Fisher G, Dan Park, Noah Clifton, and Andrew Ross also got slid up into that. But no one got it worse than Jesse Turner. He went flipping. And his day is going to be done. Which means that he might fall outside of championship contention heading into the finale race. Unbelievable. Such a tough break for Jesse Turner. Had a good shot at this championship, and unfortunately, he's probably not going to have a shot next week at Darlington. Well, either way, we'll get back to racing here. Zach Winkle, the race leader, Derek Hamill, Larry Hagan, Shane Lake, and Thomas Troxel, the top 5. Let's see what happens on the restart here in the Alabama 300. We're back here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Let's go ahead and see who is out of the race at this point. Fisher G, Igor Barreto, Christopher Alphaby, Jesse Turner, Sebastian Kukulon, Dan Park, Carter Friesen, Nick Smith, and Johnny Gardner all out of the race. After those 2 accidents that occurred, 27 guys left in the race. Actually, my mistake there. We actually still have a few of those guys still on the racetrack. Fisher G, Igor Barreto, and Christopher Alphaby are back out there. They're all a lap down. But everyone from Turner on down is officially out of the race. So 30 drivers on the racetrack, 27 of them on the lead lap. And something I lack is clear speaking. I'm not too good at it anymore like I used to be. Here comes Derek Hamill on the outside on the restart, and I don't know if that'll end up being a penalty or what, but either way, he's going to get penalized because that outside lane simply does not work here at Talladega, so he's going to lose the position there to Larry Hagan. And Winkle just simply did not get going like Hamill did on the restart, but either way, Winkle will remain out front. He's led the most laps so far in this race, and Winkle's another guy who has a shot at this championship. If he can move his way up, get the win here today, he might have a shot at it. There is Jonathan Rains in the number 26 in the middle of Derek Hamill and Austin Johnson, Edwin Mendez, Nathan Faden on the inside lane. A lot of guys who don't have many wins, and the first 2 guys right now, Larry Hagan and Shane Lake, have never won before on Napa Fan. Actually, top 3 have never won before on Napa Fan. The first guy in this field who has won is Edwin Mendez. And I believe he only has 1 or 2 wins on the channel, too. Winkle got shuffled out of line in the 15. He's going to fall back right there. We don't have too many guys in this lead pack, but one of the guys in this pack is Nathan Stapleton, another one of those championship contenders. Of course, he, along with Derek Hamill, tied in the points. Julius Anderson is also in this pack as well. John Arndt is in this pack. As a matter of fact, everyone except Turner in the top 6 in points are in this pack right now, so Turner is really going to fall behind. These guys better be careful as they enter turn number 3 to not go 4 wide. Larry Hagan out front in the 86. Nathan Faden's here. Casey Russell on the inside. How about Dodge? Showing a lot of strength right now. 1, 2, 3 so far. Here comes Faden with a run to the inside of Larry Hagan for the race lead. Coming up on lap 10 of 23, Marty Johnson's up here. The number 46. Great run for him here today. And our pole sitter, Gatlin Downey's moving his way back through the field as well in the number 66. Say we've got about 20 guys in this lead pack right now. Everyone from Clifton on up. That's actually 25 guys. So quite a few guys in the lead pack right now. Guys who have fallen off. Those guys, Sam Adio is actually on the lead lap. And then Zachary Fitzwater still on the lead lap as well, but you saw the damage he had from that accident. He's going to become an issue if this pack closes in on him here. How about our pole sitter trying to lead a lap in this race? Did not lead the first lap from the pole position. He's going to get to the inside of Marty Johnson for the race lead. Here comes Nathan Stapleton. Stapleton trying to take that points lead away from Jonathan Rains and get his 3rd career Napa Fan Championship. Stapleton a champion last year in the ARCA Series. Actually, no. That was the year before. That was 2017 when he won the ARCA Series Championship. In 2015, he also won the Turkey Hill Series Championship. And in here in 2019, looking for his 3rd ever championship in the Craftsman Throwback Series. But he just blew up! Stapleton has just blown an engine! And he is going to abort the pack and head to the garage. Unbelievable. And one thing, they rev these engines up so much here at Talladega because of the high speeds that it's surprising we don't see more engine failures than we already do. And here is John Arndt out front in the number 60. Will he get a lap lead? Looks like he will. He's got that block on Casey Russell, and John Arndt's going to get a bonus point towards the championship here at Talladega. And that might take Stapleton out of the championship as well. Came into this race 19 points behind. If Jonathan Rains finishes well enough in this race, I believe that the gap is 43 points? No. 42 points. No, 41. Excuse me, 41. So if you have a 40-point gap, you still have a chance at the championship. If you're anywhere farther than 40 points behind the points leader heading into the finale race, you will not have a chance, a mathematical chance, at winning the championship. Adam Lewis in the 75 now out front. Austin Johnson, Landon Lyons, Alexander Rowe is here in the number 93. Inside lane, obviously the place to be. I mean, we know that. We didn't even have to explain that to you. That's how Talladega is. Talladega is one of the worst places for that, but it's the complete opposite of any other place where passing is really difficult. I mean, we went to Bristol last weekend, and in both the Hers Elimination Series and Craftsman Throwback Series races, the winner went flag to flag. It is impossible to do that here at Talladega. Even if you tried, you could not do it. Even if I messed with the ratings and gave one car much better ratings than everybody else, they still would not pull away with the race win. That's how Talladega is. Now, I might be exaggerating there a little bit on that one, but still. A lot can happen here at Talladega, and a lot of leaders will happen at Talladega as well. We're coming to 10 laps to go. Landon Lyons is the race leader. And I don't know who's calling me, but somebody's calling me. And I'm not going to pick it up, because I don't need to call that. I don't need to pick that phone call up. I just don't need to pick it up. That's all there is to it. I don't know who it is. 90% of my phone calls, it's always during a race, too. Landon Lyons leading. Ian Adams, Shane Lake, Zach Winkle on the inside. And pretty much anyone in this pack has a chance at winning here today. So Derek Campbell's still up here as well. I think he might be a bit of a dark horse for this championship. Comes into this race 19 points behind. Jonathan Rains, however, is still in this pack as well. He's right behind John Arndt on the inside. Farther back in the pack. With the two formed alliance here, that outside lane might get a run coming to the line. It's possible. Sometimes, very rarely, the outside lane works through the tri-oval. It usually doesn't, but sometimes it does. Winkle's going to get another lap lead. I believe Winkle's going to get the most laps led in this race, which means he's going to get an extra bonus point towards the championship. There's Edwin Mendez, there is Derek Hamill, and there is Riley Sampson on the inside lane. A lot of guys who, this their only series they're racing in, running up front, like Winkle, like Hamill, like Sampson, like Casey Russell, like Larry Hagan. And they're all, right now, pretty much in the top 5 at this point. Sampson with a run on Zach Winkle, but Winkle remaining out front in the number 15. Here comes Sampson to the inside. Great run for him with Casey Russell behind him. And you really got to watch out for John Arndt as well. If Arndt wins this race, I think he might be the top guy to win the championship next week at Darlington. He won the Chick-fil-A Cup Series race there at Darlington last year. He won the Turkey Hill Truck Series race here in season number 4 of the Truck Series. He's pretty much won everywhere at this point with 20 career Napa fan wins. Getting to the inside there, the all-time winningest driver on Napa fan, John Arndt. Gonna get a bit of help right there, or is going to help Matt Tuck. Nope, he's just gonna go 3 wide for the race lead. However, the guy he has behind him is the points leader, Jonathan Rains, and I don't know if that's the guy you really want behind you, because you want to get as many points on him as you possibly can. And Rains right now, running second as they're closing in on lap traffic. That's Zachary Fitzwater. John Arndt's going to try to move to the outside. He can't do it. And now Matt Tuck's up here in the 84, and I think Tuck might have a shot. No. John Arndt is going to shuffle Fitzwater to the outside lane. And Fitzwater isn't as slow as some other guys I've seen here before. If you remember the Chick-fil-A Cup Series race we had here back in May, or actually back in April, I should say. I remember Matthew Phillips was really, really slow in that race. Dangerously slow. But you see all these guys getting held up here. Julius Anderson is actually falling off the pack, and he is almost about to go a lap down. And Jonathan Rames and John Art trying to go mano-a-mano for this championship battle. Art might have the advantage, but nope. He's going to have to split Anderson here if he's going to have a shot at getting around Jonathan Rames. Rames is going to get a bonus point towards the championship, and that's going to wipe out the bonus point that John Art got for leading a lap here. They're still trying to get around Zachary Fitzwater. Matt Tuck's still stuck behind him. He's been stuck behind him for an entire lap here. They're finally going to shuffle him out 3 wide. But a lot of guys are not going to be happy with Zachary Fitzwater after this one. It's now Jonathan Rames. Number 50 machine, Austin Johnson looking to the inside here. Gatlin Downey, Marty Johnson. Adam Lewis is in this pack. John Art's in this pack. Noah Clifton has found his way inside the top 10. Thomas Troxel, Shane Lake there, Larry Hagan. I think Julius Anderson is just as fast as everybody else. He just simply lost the draft, or maybe had to come down the pit lane. He's a lap down. Well, of course he's a lap down, but he's only 1 lap down, so my guess would be they just lost the draft. The rest of these guys are closing in here. All these guys from that pack has gotten around Zachary Fitzwater there. But now they're closing in on Christopher Alphaby. Now Alphaby's going to get in the way. And Austin Johnson on the outside lane is going to be the first to get around him, and maybe the only guy to get around him. What happens here at Talladega, we get these chess match races where they're all trying to get around lap traffic, and it's who can get around the lap traffic the cleanest. That's especially how it was in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series race earlier this year. We'll have to see what this Chick-fil-A Cup Series race is going to be doing here on Saturday. But even it could be another one of these wild mouse races where you get these guys closing in on these lap traffic cars and having difficulty getting around them. There's Adam Lewis to the inside of Austin Johnson. Lewis will get a lap led right here with 4 laps to go in the Alabama 300. And Alphaby still getting stuck behind, or should I say, keeping all these guys behind him. Marty Johnson cannot get a run there on that outside lane. And at this point, it might be effectively over for everyone who is not in this lead draft. Well, you know what? There goes the inside. They might close in here. But they got to be careful getting around Alphaby here. If they cause a wreck, that's going to end the race, and they're not going to have any chance of winning. Marty Johnson really getting shuffled out of line right here. He's still stuck behind Alphaby. Was running top 5 not that long ago, and now he's going to fall to the end of the pack. And somebody else is blowing up. Landon Lyons in the number 90. That is the second blown engine since the last restart that we had in this race. Lyons is going to head down to the apron, but that's going to split the pack up even more. So now it's Adam Lewis and Austin Johnson out all by themselves. Shane Lake and Riley Sampson here as well, and Alphaby is still holding up a majority of the field. Casey Russell's going to get around him. Alexander Rowe's not waiting anytime. He's not waiting for Zach Winkle. Neither is Matt Tuck here. And we'll just have to see. These guys might have a chance at closing in on our race leaders. And they just passed Adam Lewis. Austin Johnson now to the race lead in the number 50. All of these guys, except for Adam Lewis, going for their first career Napa Fan wins. Lewis is the only guy in this 4-truck pack who has won before. And he wants to get another one. 2 laps to go at Talladega. Here comes the number 12 of Riley Sampson for second. But Austin Johnson remains out front. The rest of the pack is 3 seconds behind the race leader. Just the big question is, do they have enough drivers in this pack to close in on the final lap of the race? They're not going to close in if they pass here for this position. But they do have strength in numbers. We'll have to see if that comes into play. Here comes Riley Sampson to the inside. And Sampson now taking the race lead away from Austin Johnson. Coming to the white flag here in the Alabama 300 from Talladega. Sampson, Lewis, here comes the 25 of Shane Lake. He's also on the inside lane. I think the rest of the field's just too far behind to have any chance. But Jonathan Rames is up there inside the top 10. We'll have to see if that's where he finishes. White flag for Riley Sampson at Talladega. Shane Lake up to second. Shane Lake's in the money position right here. They did not close in hardly at all. Only 0.3 of a second. So it's going to be one of these 4 guys. And it might end up being Adam Lewis, because Lewis is going to have that inside behind Shane Lake. heading into turn number 3, and he's going to close in. He's going to get a good run, and I have a feeling he's going to make a move off of turn number 4. Shane Lake to the inside for the race lead. Adam Lewis, however, has the help from Austin Johnson. Will he get the inside lane? He's not going to make the move. Shane Lake's going to get it here in the Alabama 300, his first career Napa fan win. Shane Lake wins at Talladega in the Craftsman Throwback Series. And Jonathan Rains will finish in the 6th position. And with that, he will be the points leader heading into Darlington next weekend. But John Hart's still going to have a chance on him in this championship, but they might be the only 2 guys who have a chance because I don't think anybody else around them gained enough points. Hamill might still have a chance. Yeah, Hamill's still going to be in championship contention. But Turner, Stapleton, both of those guys probably going to be out. Same with Julius Anderson because Anderson fell deep in the field as well. How about Shane Lake getting it done for his first career Napa fan win, coming here in the Alabama 300 at Talladega. Great win there for Shane Lake and the number 25 team. And next week's finale is going to be on the NOFSRL channel, so it's not going to be here on Napa Fan. So if you're looking for it here, it's going to be next week from Darlington. On the NOFSRL channel, we're going to crown a champion in the Craftsman Throwback Series at the Lady in Black. That's going to be a fun race. And I think we'll also do qualifying for it, too, because with it being a championship race, it's going to have some pretty major effects on who starts where. So we'll have to see how that all goes down. But either way, Shane Lake, the race winner. And I think this race is going to be a lot like how the next 2 races this weekend are going to be. Rockstar Pro Series and Chick-fil-A Cup Series especially. Probably going to be like this, where you have those lap cars getting in the way and shuffling the field around, and that's why we saw what we saw right there. Still a pretty close finish, though. It wasn't like that in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series earlier this year, but either way, Shane Lake getting it done here. Take a look at the rest of the results right there, and you see Turner falling to 31st, and that's effectively going to put him out of championship contention because Jonathan Rains finished really well on this race in 6th, and Turner had a shot at surpassing him in the championship after this one, but could not get to him after he wrecked on the cooldown lap because of Zachary Fitzwater, and that's a tough one for Turner because he had a really good chance. I mean, he was the points leader last week at Bristol, and now with 2 races, or should I say 1 race left to go, just after 2 races, he's not even in championship contention anymore. It's amazing just how quick it happens. Of course, if it's only being an 8-race season, not much time really to get yourself up to that points lead and have a shot at this championship. But Jonathan Rains has been up there for the past 3 races. We'll have to see what he can do in the finale race at Darlington next weekend with John Hart and Derek Hamill also being in championship contention. They might be the only guys. Might have some other guys back in there who have a shot, but you guys will see when we get the championship standings up here from Talladega. So thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Shane Lake on his race victory. And we'll see you guys sometime this weekend for the Alabama 80K in the Rockstar Pro Series. It's also going to be a 23-lap race. But it's going to be interesting because we only have 2 races left to go over there as well, with their finale being Indianapolis coming 2 weeks from today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Shane Lake, and I will see you guys later.